We usually view aging as a form of physical entropy. You picture a machine, like a vintage car left out in the rain, where metal rusts, gears grind, and rubber belts snap. We are taught that aging is simply your body rusting away as the decades pass. But when you look through the lens of systems biology, that rusting car metaphor completely falls apart. Systems biology reveals that aging functions as an active, highly complex biological software program currently experiencing a catastrophic loss of information. We have to move past the model of passive decay and look at aging as an active network collapse. This raises a vital question. Why would nature build a computer that is so susceptible to melting down? Evolutionary biology suggests a fundamental trade-off called the disposable soma theory. Nature has a limited energy budget, so it prioritizes reproductive fitness over long-term maintenance. Essentially, evolution only funds your repair department until your genetic material is passed on. Once that biological warranty expires, the body has to work frantically to maintain internal stability against constant environmental stressors. Think of a hummingbird at a flower. It appears stationary, but its wings are a blur, beating 80 times a second. Its heart is racing at 1,200 beats per minute. It is expending massive amounts of energy just to appear stable against the wind. That invisible, high-speed adaptation to stress is the very engine driving our biological collapse. We start at the biological network map's foundation, genomic instability. Your DNA faces thousands of physical lesions daily. In youth, enzymes fix these instantly, but with age, mutations accumulate. Simultaneously, protective chromosome tips, telomeres, grind away until the cell permanently stops dividing. This hardware damage is compounded by corrupted software. In epigenetics, the chemical switches that turn genes on and off start flipping randomly. Even with pristine DNA, a cell fails if the epigenetic software interpreting those instructions is scrambled. Your body doesn't just watch this damage happen. It triggers aggressive emergency survival systems to deal with the fallout. When a cell detects critical DNA damage, it slams on the emergency brakes. It permanently stops dividing and enters a zombie-like state called senescence. These zombie cells refuse to die. Instead, they secrete a toxic inflammatory sludge known as SASP that melts the surrounding tissue and forces healthy neighboring cells to also become zombies. This damage locks our nutrient sensors into a growth mode. The body's general contractor screams at the cell to keep building new rooms, even though the foundation is actively crumbling and the garbage trucks have stopped running. This is where aging becomes a tragedy. Our own survival responses turn toxic and become the primary drivers of our destruction. We've looked at the microscopic failures, but what macroscopic events in our daily lives actually press the accelerator on this cascade? Neuroendocrinology identifies this as allostatic load, the tangible physiological price the body pays for constantly adapting to a hostile environment. When you perceive a threat, like a looming deadline or a stressful job, your brain sounds the alarm. The amygdala triggers the HPA axis to flood your bloodstream with cortisol. In a 5-minute emergency, this cortisol spike saves your life. But when that stress becomes chronic and unremitting, the alarm never shuts off. What clinicians treat as metabolic syndrome or burnout is actually the systemic breakdown of a neuroendocrine system forced to run at maximum speed without rest. This chart showing high blood pressure and dysregulated blood sugar is the measurable wear and tear of that effort. Daily psychosocial stress acts as the direct macroscopic trigger pulling the microscopic hammer. A stressful commute creates a surge of cortisol that penetrates your cell membranes. That hormone physically travels into the nucleus and recruits enzymes that rewrite the epigenetic marks on your genes. The massive, relentless metabolic overdrive required to handle this chronic stress causes your mitochondria to physically fail and leak excessive reactive shrapnel, shattering DNA strands and forcing healthy cells into the toxic zombie state. Your anxiety, your financial stress, and your sleep deprivation are actively and chemically rewriting your biological code in real time. While this feedback loop seems grim, the mechanics of the system offer a profoundly hopeful reality. Because aging relies on epigenetic software configurations instead of permanent hardware mutations, the damage remains reversible. Scientists have already used a cocktail of 4 transcription factors, known as Yamanaka factors, to wipe a cell's epigenetic slate clean. In the lab, this reprogramming can transform an old, exhausted skin cell back into a youthful, vibrant stem cell. These successes in cellular reprogramming suggest that as we map the software loops of aging, we transition from observing a mystery of nature toward a field of biological engineering. While humanity works toward full admin access to the biological code, we still have to manage our daily reality. The most immediate tool for longevity is the deliberate management of your own allostatic load. Calming your internal hummingbird and mitigating chronic psychological stress allows your body to shift away from constant growth and back toward essential repair. Directly managing your internal inputs gives you the power to influence the speed and trajectory of your own biological software.